Right, and okay, we're live.
Okay, cool.
All right. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, this is Richard Cora Kenobi, back again with episode 2 of Kenobi's Interviews. The last one we had I have Saw, a good friend of mine, and now today we have Cliff from RoundTable Studios.
What's going on, everybody?
Good to have you on, Cliff. Again, for those of you who don't know, Cliff is also a good friend of mine. Now, for those of you who do not know who Cliff is, he is a 3D animator for RoundTable Studios.
That is correct. Yes, I am.
Yes, and would you mind telling everyone what your most popular animations?
Sure. Well, RoundTable Studios, we're a YouTube channel where we specialize in, just 3D animations, pretty much just make popular fan videos. And we do a lot of collaborations. Our most notable one is with Ismahawk, who did the Nightwing the series and the Minute Matchups. And we were actually responsible for doing the 3D animation for Power Rangers versus Voltrons. Everything in it is all of us. So
yes,
that was a fun project.
Yes, as soon as I heard you guys were attached to that, I was just like, that's perfect, because I had already been a fan of your guys' channel from the of course the Goku Superman versus Saitama, the Naruto versus Ichigo, like those types. So I was really curious to see how you would tackle it, and again, no words need to be said. It was very, very well done.
Thank you. Yeah, it was different because I the funny thing with that, a little history with that was the Naruto versus Ichigo. That was one of my first animations to be done. That was when I believe when Monty Ohm was doing like the Dead Fantasy videos where he's doing the fantasy versus whatever. So I wanted to do the same thing because I think he started with Metroid versus Master Chief. So I wanted to take two popular characters and put them against each other. Death Battle was hot. I think it was before Mighty Raccoon started. So I did them, and it just didn't take off. This is before I know anything about SEO and tag, anything like that. So I put it together, thinking it was going to blow up, and it didn't turn out that way. So I actually kept the animation like in the pocket because it didn't do well on YouTube. Fast forward years later, I starting up again. I started doing the videos. I think I started with Captain America versus Batman, very, very small. And then once I did the Ichigo versus the Saitama versus Superman video, it started to get some traction. So I'm like, hey, this is good. What about doing a collaboration? And I knew, and I'm fans of Ismahawk, and always were talking about getting a 3D animator, getting someone to do some cool animations. They want to do some cool projects. So I'm like, I think I can do it. So I messaged them and I showed them the Naruto versus Ichigo, and that was actually the video that won them over.
Yes.
I saw that and they were like, wow, this is good. We're gonna get you on. So that's the story with Naruto versus Ichigo and how that tied around with Ismahawk. So it's pretty cool.
Oh, that's amazing. And I'm glad that's the video that won them over and made them say, yeah, of course, we'd love to have you work on Voltron versus Power Rangers.
Yeah, man, it was fun. It's still, not to be biased of my videos, but it's still one of my favorite, videos for me personally, the Naruto versus Ichigo fight, because it was one of my early ones, and I really put my all into that one.
Yes, and it should be, because again, it was great, and unfortunately, I've been away from the Naruto fan base for a long time, but I am a casual fan, and just seeing how much hard work you put into that was very nice. And again, I'm happy to know that it's the video that got you the job to work with Ismahawk.
Yeah. It was that, and then afterwards, which I don't know if me and Danny kind of put that out there, but then just to make sure, because it was very cartoony. Saitama versus Superman is very cartoony. Obviously, Naruto versus Ichigo was very anime cartoony, but Ismahawk wants to do much more realistic stuff. So to make sure that I guess we're on the same page, if you remember, first person Iron Man.
Yes, yes, I do.
They did that video, and just to be a test on how we work together, he said, "Let me do the Iron Man reflections in the on the buildings." So he gave me the footage, and we worked with it, and that was like our test to see how we could do it. Because if we could do it for 10 seconds, we can obviously do it for a couple minutes. So we tried it, worked, and then it's like, all right, and now we're gonna do Power Rangers versus Voltron. So it's like another like thing too. So it's fun.
Yes, absolutely. Well, since we've mostly been talking about that, so to kind of ask you, so what was it like really getting to work on Power Rangers versus Voltron, like the difficulty of bringing the mechs to life, like making it something that has never been done before Screw Attack did their version. So what were the experiences like for you working on that?
It was interesting at first. For me personally, working with the team, I've never worked with a real, production team. So that's the first aspect. And the second part of it was, working with something that I've never really animated before, which is robots in space. So initially, Danny, because it's his first time working in 3D, we're all working on very, very new ground. So in the beginning, he gave me a script. He gave me a script that he wanted to work with, but he left it very, very when it comes to the action parts, very, very open, very, very.
Yeah.
The only thing that was really cut to the point that we have to do it was a live action stuff in the beginning because it's gonna be with film, so there's no way I can freestyle. Yeah. And then the ending, because you want to have a clear, specific ending on how it's gonna end. So everything in the middle, he gave me completely free reign on.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah. So the first thing that was, I guess, a challenge would have been, how do Voltron is a space fighter, and then the Megazord is not. You know what I mean? Yeah. So what are we gonna do with that? So Danny personally, he was struggling with breaking that canon that the Megazord can be able to fly in space, but we didn't know how the audience was going to receive that.
Yeah, there were some people who said that, whoa, what's this? The Megazord can't fly.
Right. And I was telling him, I'm like, I agree with you, but I think if we just make it that cool, if we do it right in the beginning, if we do an Earth battle, that'd be kind of cool. But if we do a space battle or they go into space, if we just make it really, really dynamic, I think that 10 seconds in, 30 seconds in, the audience is gonna just stop. Even they're not even gonna it's not even gonna matter anymore. So I'm don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. I think if we make it good, the audience is gonna forgive a lot of things. But especially if we keep it, we still wanted to do the power sword the same, where he acts for the power sword in the sky. We did that the same.
Yeah.
A lot of things we try to keep it true to the Power Rangers mythos instead of just breaking everything. So that was one of the few things in the beginning that was an issue or a struggle. But
exactly.
Yeah, but it was good. It was good. And then I guess the only other notable thing, that was I can say was interesting to work on was the ending. After we finished everything, after we put the animation, everything was set. We put everything was lit. Jeremy Lee, who's another one of the Ismahawk guys, who's lighting the shots and everything like that. Getting it to render into the video. So rendering, for anyone who doesn't know, is taking 3D information from a 3D program and printing it into actual images to composite into a video. So to take the 3D information, to render it into 2D image, one frame took 10 to 20 minutes.
Wow.
Right, for only the robots. That's not the Earth. That's not the sky. That's not the asteroids. 10 to 20 minutes. And if anyone knows film, it's 24 frames per second. Exactly. One frame, 10 minutes. So you're looking at a couple of hours for 1 second of video. So God forbid if we made any mistakes, which we did, we had to re-render. So I think it took about 3 to 4 weeks of just computers just running and rendering and rendering. So it took a whole month. I believe that last summer, it was just rendering and rendering and rendering and rendering. But after we got that done, and Danny fixed, Danny did his compositing things. It came out pretty well. It came out pretty well. So it was good. It's a very good project.
Oh, that's great. And I assumed there was difficulties, but again, I'm glad to know that everything turned out well and you guys still managed to meet the deadline.
Yeah, no, yeah. It was scary. It was scary a couple of times to meet that deadline because we had it all set. We did the promo at Comic-Con. Went to New York Comic-Con that year with the guys. We met up. We did that. So it's like I hope it comes out in time, but it did. It all worked out the best.
Yes, it did. Yes, and the models you use, because in the behind-the-scenes documentary, you and Danny talked about it. Danny pretty much said that if you just pause the video and you look at all the little details you guys did for both the robot models, there were so many intricate little devil details that I just loved, because I'm a person who admires the tiniest details of animation. So I liked all those things you guys did. But so how did you decide to because obviously this was more of a Pacific Rim inspired fight instead of it just being two space robots fighting on the ground. You just had it in space. So did you take any liberties with, okay, so we want to do this to kind of give both robots a chance?
What do you mean? Like liberties as far as, what do you mean? Like one more time.
Oh, okay. Per se, like you guys obviously had the Megazord not only fly, but you also pretty much had the Megazord do something that we've never really seen the original OG Megazord do, like fly around, shoot lasers, and really showed that the robot itself is capable of at least fighting Voltron in... Yeah.
Right. Okay. So besides that, the other liberties, if you are, which I know you did, because I saw your reaction on the Megazord, Power Rangers vs. Megazord, the Death Battle did. The sizes of the robots are different as well.
Yes. Yes, they are.
I believe the Megazord's bigger. The Megazord's bigger than Voltron. I think that's what they said.
Yes. They used the Super Sentai scale.
Right, so Megazord's bigger, so we didn't want to do that, and so we didn't make that much of a difference. We felt that with the liberty of him flying, to also then try to then keep it to the realism that we're keeping that to scale. We took that out, so we made them pretty much equal. Besides the Megazord flying and zipping around, I know what Danny and I discussed. We wanted the ground fight to feel very weighted, very Pacific Rim-like.
Yes.
But when we got to the space, we kind of wanted to be like a very Gundam, very anime, you know what I mean? Because it is an American show like Voltron and Power Rangers. We watch it, but it is derived from the anime descendants. So we kind of wanted to do like a two piece where it's like very American on the ground, but once it gets into space, it's full on Japanese. All kinds of crazy tricks, things like that. So like I literally tried to pick as much references from all types of anime I could find, space battles that would try to fit with the Megazord. Right. I know I did take a lot of Gundam. Yes. That. But that's about it. If spoiler alert for anyone who hasn't watched both Isma Hawk's video and the Death Battle video, but Voltron is clearly the stronger of the two. So what we did was, if you watch it, Voltron never really struggles.
Yes.
In our video, we wanted to make sure that even though the Megazord could keep up with him, the Voltron was never really in any danger at all until that one sword stab that he got caught off guard. He got sword stabbed, but pretty much the entire fight he kind of had the upper hand, whereas we're struggling. So we kind of wanted to put that piece into it, where he blocked every shot, he dodged everything. He was always, even though the Megazord was the aggressor, because the Power Rangers are more martial arts fighters. Exactly. So because they're fighters, we had the Megazord just being more aggressive, attacking first. on everything. And, you know, so that, I know we try to tell that story too while I was animating. So, but besides that, we try to keep it very, very contained onto like a sword, gun, space fight. Yeah.
Wow, that's amazing. And yes, going off of all of that, like you said, I mean, it was clear that Voltron was never really in any danger. But also too, like, so how did it feel like when you knew the Power Rangers were gonna lose? Like, were you like, I at least want to show the Power Rangers at least got close to winning in your version?
Well, yeah. So when I read the script, because he didn't tell me, he didn't tell me the Power Rangers are gonna lose, because I'm a huge Power Rangers fan.
Yes, absolutely.
I've watched Voltron the Netflix series. I've never been I'll be true, I never watched the original, but I watched Voltron the Netflix series, and I'm a super big Power Rangers fan. And when I read that the Power Rangers were losing, I'm like, Danny, we have to change the script. Right. Like, I don't know what this is, but I'm not animating. I'm not Power Rangers losing. That's crazy.
Yeah.
And, he's like, no, like, you know, because Voltron's obviously like it's one thing, because if you watch the other minute matchups, like Deadpool's, like I don't want to say it, but like you kind of can guess in Ismahawk's videos who's going to win before the match starts. Like except the Green Arrow versus Hawkeye one, I think they try to keep it very equal. But besides like Deadpool versus Deadpool, Flash versus Quicksilver, you kind of already know who's going to be the winner.
Yeah, more recently, Joker versus Joker.
If anyone thought that the Jared Leto Joker was going to win over the Heath Ledger Joker, I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know what you're on.
Right, but there was no.
Exactly. That's like putting Mark Hamill Joker up against Jared Leto's Joker. If you think Jared Leto's Joker would win against all of the other Joker incarnations, then something is clearly wrong with you.
Exactly. So that's kind of like his thing. So Danny is more, you know, because Death Battle is we're gonna actually sit down, because Death Battle is not about the animation. Death Battle is about the research, right?
Exactly.
So they're about the research and trying to figure out who's actually better. Whereas Danny, he's about the entertainment, the visuals, the storytelling. So he didn't really want to really mess around with who's actually stronger or anything like that. But at the same time, do it justice. So even though we're both Power Ranger fans, it's not even like close that Power Rangers are going to win against Voltron. So they're trying to write or trying to make something up where Voltron loses. It's like, we don't want to do it. So even though we both didn't like it, we're like, it's probably the better choice, you know, because it's the obvious choice.
Yeah.
But, you know, it hurt me inside personally to Power Rangers blowing up. But you know, it is, you know, but it was good. It was fun though. But now I've watched Voltron, I'm like, oh, I can see why.
Yes.
Yeah, I can see why the Rangers lose on this.
Yes, and as somebody who, again, like you, I watched a little bit of Voltron as a kid, but I mostly gravitated towards Power Rangers, and I'm still a more fan of Power Rangers than I am of Voltron. But thanks to the amazing, critically acclaimed Netflix series, I like Voltron just as much as Power Rangers. So it's very difficult to, every time, even if when you guys did it or when Screw Attack did it, just to see the reaction to the Power Rangers losing against Voltron. It's kind of unsettling, because you know, I mean, your childhood is basically dying.
Yeah, no, I felt the same way. So me, Danny, across the board, you know, I think a lot of people also thought that we were Voltron fanboys, and Power Ranger, like, we didn't like Power Rangers as much. I'm like, no, we love Power Rangers. Like, don't get it twisted.
No, absolutely.
Power Rangers, but you know, it was just written that way. The script was written that way. That's why I said the scripts. You know, it was good.
Well, speaking on that, so the ending, because still to this day, I do love the ending of your guys's, but I would not be lying if I said I liked your guys's ending and both Screw Attacks. But with your guys's ending, it got people more hyped, because you guys teased that, okay, Tommy if Tommy had a bigger part in this, then maybe they might stand a chance.
Right. Yeah, so that's what I guess if this is another behind the scenes thing, Danny wanted Tommy to be in the original. If we were going to write the winner, because when we first discussed it, we said, oh, okay, well, if Power Rangers are going to win, they have to win with Tommy. Like, that's the only way we can make it happen. It's the only way it makes sense, and it'll be visually awesome.
Yes.
And but when that happened with time and scheduling, finding actors, models, to get a third robot and another actor in suits, it was like, all right, that's probably not going to work out. So when he put that in there, the idea is that we're going to make another alternate ending, or maybe like a little, maybe alternate ending where Tommy comes, and where it's not off the table, but it's just currently it's like it's in limbo. It's in limbo. But hopefully sooner than later, we can get that out to you guys.
Oh, that would be nice. And just to talk real quick about it, like, so what do you think? Like, if Tommy got involved, do you think that maybe, okay, that would be a huge game changer for the Power Rangers?
Yeah, absolutely. If Tommy gets involved, Tommy is the greatest Power Ranger of all time. So
absolutely.
So once he gets involved, it's game over. I think I think more recently there's a clip, which is funny, brings you back, where Tommy single-handedly like jumped on the Megazord and like he opened up and like he beat everybody out.
He kicked them all out of their own Zord.
Right. I love that clip. Like, so so we haven't. Where which I will give, it is Tommy the Green Ranger, not Tommy the White Ranger. So if we're gonna do an alternate ending, it is Tommy the Green Ranger. So it would be the Dragon Zord that would come into play. So that it'd be no question, because Tommy's the greatest.
Yes, well, I think that'd be interesting to see the Dragon Zord fly into space and help them, like that. Like that would just be insane, like to see the Dragon Zord come out of nowhere into space to help the Rangers.
Oh God, I can't wait. Like I know I'm making it, but I can't wait to like watch it.
Yes, I can't wait either. Well, did you have any favorite moments while working on Power Rangers versus Voltron? Like, were there any standout moments besides working with Danny and Ismahawk? Like, when doing the animation, like, did you have any favorite moments while working on the animation and bringing these two to life?
Oh, absolutely. It was my favorite segment. There's some parts of it where I feel like I put a little more creativity into it, because a lot of stuff I saw in Gundam and I kind of just emulated whatever I saw in Gundam, and a lot of it, portions of it, it's like, well, how do I, because Gundam is guns. There's not a lot of sword fighting in the Gundam series, so I had to do a lot of imagination, and even like Dragon Ball Z, it's like they're fist fighting. So there's not a lot of references for sword fighting in flying or sword fighting in space. Right. So my favorite part, or the part that stands out to me, is the intro portion. So like the intro portion when they first introduce their weapons, right? Because it's it's about 90% original in my in practice. So I say 10% because Voltron bringing his sword, I didn't create that. So because he's calling the sword, and I'm like, this is going to be the part where they both have their swords open. This is the part that's going to start the fight. Like, even though we started in space on the ground, they did a little bit fist fighting, but now they have their sword, the power sword, the blazing sword. This is going to be epic. Like, I have to make this badass, So I'm like, all right, so what can I do? So I'm thinking, another cool part, I Thor, from the Avengers and Thor, where he takes like his hand out and
yeah,
power sword, which is of course the hammer. It's very similar to how he does it. The Power Rangers do it for the sword. They hold out the sword up high. The sword comes from nowhere, and they just grab it, right?
yes.
So I'm like, all right, so let's do that, but let's do it at the same time. So when it's at the same time, it's actually really, really cool. So when Voltron comes flying in, still bringing the sword, and I bring the sword, and that was completely, I'm like, let me try to do something really, really cool where that happens at the same time. You know, so that wasn't, Danny left that up to me to kind of create. You know, I came up with it on my own, and once I made it, I'm like, this looks good. like this looks kind of good. So then when I sent it over to Danny so you can see it, he's like, dude, like this looks so awesome. I'm like, oh yes, I gotta win. You know, like, oh, this is gonna look so good with the effects and the animation. And that part is so far like my favorite part. So on all my intro videos, I always have that part playing because it's my favorite. It's my favorite.
Yes, absolutely. I'm a sucker for those type of moments when both robots summon their weapons at the same time and they're clashing in slow motion. It makes it more epic. I love that you did that.
Yeah, that was so much fun. That had to be like at least like my favorite moment doing it because it was like my first original type of moment. Like let me try to make something really, really cool here, and it came out well.
Oh wow, that's amazing. That is just amazing.
Thanks.
Yeah, exactly. Well, to kind of well, since you got to work with Ismahawk twice now, do you have any other future collaborations that you can kind of give? I know you can't really say what you're working on with them next, but do you have any hints as to what possibly is in the future for you guys to collaborate on again?
Well, we are working on another project right now. I can say that we are working on a project right now. It's in effect. The models are being done. Script is done. They didn't announce it yet on their channel, so I'm definitely not going to announce it.
No! Our lips are sealed.
I will say it is not a minute matchup. They wanted to. They've teased that they wanted to make short stories, where they are not, it's not exactly two characters fighting, because though that's cool, there's so much more stories in fandom, in anything, that it's just more entertaining than just the characters fighting. So because beforehand they were limited on the 3D aspect of what they could do, now that I'm part of the team, there's a lot more that we can do together. So a lot more script skills, because when we talk about it, which brings me back to Power Rangers Voltron, the first conversation that we had, he said, can you do Power Rangers Voltron? And at that point I said, yeah. I didn't know how to do it. You know, I had no idea if I could do Power Rangers Voltron. I just said, yeah, I'll work with you guys. It's fine. So a lot of the scripts that they've planned before in the past that they couldn't really done because of budget or production, they're now bringing it back up. So a lot of it, so this is going to feel very old school Ismahawk short stories. So if you watch their videos before, like Nightwing the series,
absolutely,
video, right? So it's gonna feel like one of those type of videos. So it's gonna be like a short. It's gonna be a fan video, so it's gonna be something everyone loves. And we're working on it. We're working on it right now. It's gonna be cool. I read the script. It's awesome. And that's it. So the gang's back together. Whenever he releases it or says what it is, then I guess we'll talk about it some more. But it's so far so good.
That sounds amazing, and it sounds like it's going to be worth the wait.
Yeah. It's gonna be good. It's gonna be good.
Yes. Oh my goodness, I'm so excited. I can't wait to see what it is. But you not only. Sorry. You not only work with Ismahawk on their videos, but again, you also have your own channel. You work on your own series, Crossover Clash.
Right.
Yes, and you've done some amazing episodes. Like your most recent one, which I reacted to, was Genji versus Gray Fox.
Yes. So on So it's the same thing, no different than a minute matchup or a death battle or an arcade mode. It's the same type of effects, two characters fighting, nothing, you know, or I guess original in that concept. Personally, for me, it's an opportunity to, I believe, get stronger within my animation craft.
Right.
It is, you know, or just like to really push my buttons, because on each of my videos so far, as I've seen, you know, there's a clear like progression in quality. You know, I feel, you know, like, you know, if you take it back from a Naruto video or even the Batman video, like, which I think is crossover comic episode 1, it's way different now than the Genji version. You know, it's a clear difference, and that's my I guess that's my prerogative, that's my mission for my channel, is because you know, 3D animation in itself, a lot of people understand that it takes time and it takes effort to make it look good. And for any budding animator or any budding artist, I would like to teach that even though it takes time and effort, that doesn't necessarily mean that you can't do it or that you are not capable of doing it to the level that, you know, people have gotten it to, because Death Battle, they're a well-oiled machine, a team. You know what I mean? They're a team. They got their thing going on. Same thing with Rooster Teeth, Ruby, and even Ruby. It's only 10 episodes for 10 weeks. The rest of the year they're working on it, so it still takes time. You know, even for a big studio like that. So I kind of want to show animators and artists that even though, you know, you don't have the budget and you don't have the production that you can still make cool videos. It doesn't have to be, you know, very, very small, very big. You can still produce with the tools that are out now in 2017. There's a lot of tools to make it like really, really good. And that's the reason why I want to show that, even though I'm kind of like 1 or 2 people working on the video with me, it's not that difficult. It's not that hard to get to that same level of quality that other channels are doing.
Right.
Yeah. So, but yeah. So this episode, so Genji versus Gray Fox was my first attempt to making like higher level quality videos like Power Rangers vs. Voltron by myself. But I did have, you know, I did have some people help me, so it wasn't entirely by myself, but it's there in the next video, which is going to be super fun.
Yes, great segue into it. Great segue into it. Your next episode, I marked out as soon as I saw you were doing this. I was like, "Oh my God, you're the first person to do this." No, well, particularly Bad in the Sun, they did this years ago, but it was only with 2. But
it's only 2, right?
Yes, but your next episode is a Batmobile Battle Royale.
Yes,
all of the Batmobiles, except the animated series Batmobile. It's just
so that's my thing with that. So I wanted to pick one Kevin Conroy iteration, right? Because he's done so many Batmans and so many Batmobiles. I'm like, all right, so which one do I do? So it's like I have a choice between the Arkham Knight Mobile or the classic you know, TV show one.
Yes, so specifically the one from the first 3 seasons, not the one from the New Adventures of Batman.
Yeah, that one, right. So now I'm thinking, I'm like, okay, if I do the Kevin Conroy 1992 Batmobile, not that I want to keep, you still want to keep people on their toes, but there's no way I can make that video and have that card not win. You know what I mean?
Yes, exactly. That's probably why I understand why it's not in it, because in my opinion, I mean, that Batmobile would win because I mean
exactly. It's like, so I'm like, I don't know if I want to do that. So and I was thinking, I'm like, well, you know, I can just do movie mobiles, so which would remove the Arkham Knight mobile at all. But I'm like, but having the ability to have that car in there and not having a Kevin Conroy, you know, Batman in there would do it this justice. So instead of doing the 4 movie mobiles, I'm like, let me just add in the 5th one. Why not? Let me just add in the Arkham Knight one.
Yes, exactly. The tank mobile from Arkham Knight.
pretty much. So
yes. Well, would you like to talk about it? So okay. So my question is, how did you decide to come up with that? Like, because in my opinion, you don't see, not even Screw Attack have done that, even though people have always wanted to see which Batmobile is the best. Like, which one is the best? So how did you decide to come up with that idea?
Well, it's actually to bring it back, because a lot of it brings it back to Megas versus Voltron.
Okay, that's fine.
When me and Danny spoke, you know, at that opportunity, as I'm sure any young YouTuber would take, they're super big, right? Compared to me, at that point, I think I had like 100 subscribers. I was doing, which is you know, it's small YouTuber, which is fine. Exactly. So when you have the ability to talk to someone who has over 100,000 subscribers, you're like, so Mr. Danny Shepard, what can I do to like grow my channel? You know, as an animation, he said, well, if I was a viewer, as a fan, I would want you to do videos that the other channels aren't necessarily doing. You know, like do videos that people want to see, but somehow are not getting done. So you could do like a Batman versus Black Panther, or you could do like a Black Canary versus, you know, Scarlet Witch, or you know, or Black Widow, but do something that's like a little bit outside of what people will normally see, and then everyone wants to see. So he gave me ideas. He has a list of ideas. I'm not gonna say, I may want to do a couple of them. You know, he said here are a couple of ideas that people have been asking for, but no one has been able to do it. So because Batman's Son and Danny are both live action, there's no way they can get all 5 Batmobiles.
And that would be very expensive.
Right. And then Death Battle usually do one-on-ones. You know, they usually do one-on-ones. They had done some Royales, but it's like they're the only ones who would do it, but they've been doing one-on-ones. So it's a good bet that if you do it, especially with the Justice League video coming out and the Batmobile coming out, it's a good chance that that's going to be a very, very good video for you to do. So why don't you do it, especially now you're able to bring that quality to that level. You know, why don't you try to get a chance? And I'm not sure, but I think I released a picture of what it's only a test. It's the first draft of what
I did see
Batmobile is going to look like. Yeah.
Yes, and again, that's amazing. And as I said, I think that's probably going to be, in my opinion, your best episode yet, because again, I mean, you're bringing all of these Batmobiles. So, well, see, I know you can't really tell us who will win because again, it hasn't come out yet, and you're still working. But okay, so there are questions. I'm sure me and everyone has, but like, so first thing. How is it going to be a little difficult to do all of these Batmobiles and kind of get them right, do them justice and all of that?
Yeah. Well, yes. There's and that's where I'm going to invoke the Ismahawk rule, as I call it, where it's make it so cool that if there is anything that I missed, it because the video is so good or it is very visually pleasing, it doesn't matter. So like certain things like, you know, I know the Keaton Mobile has a couple of tricks, you know, that I can't, you know, like the rig or the animation is not going to do. The number one thing is for sure the Arkham Knight Mobile, the tank mode. That's not making an appearance. It's like I'm like,
okay, thank God, because well, that's actually good because a lot of people are gonna be sick. They were sick of seeing that tank mode. So I mean, if I saw it again, I'd be like, oh, please kill that tank.
Yeah, so that tank mode thing, like I'm not gonna be able to do that, you know, because it's not only just, you know, just doing it. It's like you have to rig it. You have to make sure it makes sense. It's got to it's a lot. And I'm like, it's already 5 cars. Like it's enough, you know. So that's fine. Yeah. I know, same thing with the Snyder Mobile. I know with the weapons and the turrets and the gun, that was a big thing too in BVS. I'm like, maybe I shouldn't touch that either with the guns.
Yeah,
so like,
exactly.
I'll leave that. So certain things like that, I'm not going to really touch on, which are still weapons and abilities that those Batmobiles have. But if the Tumbler didn't have any weapons and the 66 didn't have any crazy weapons like the Arkham Knight, that automatically puts them at a disadvantage. And I want to feel as if that all 5 Batmobiles kind of have, you know, a chance, you know. So
exactly.
Where it's like, you know, the Tumbler, like, you know, just to show you how I was animated, the Tumbler and maybe the Arkham Knight maybe have raw power, so they'll like start off really strong. But when it comes to a turn, the 89 and the 66 can drift a little bit better.
Yeah,
and they'll take the
yeah, and the 89 can fire a grappling hook to make turns easier. And of course, the 60s Batmobile has the bat shoots.
Right, exactly. So a lot of that, so I'm like, I'll try to take that into consideration for it. But I want this to feel very like Fast and the Furious. To
me, it feels like a Batmobile version of I don't know if you remember the show, Hanna-Barbera show, The Wacky Races.
I've seen that. Yes.
Yeah, because that's what I'm getting off of this. Like, it's not going to be a straight up match. Like, which Batmobile has the better weapons? No. Like, it's just going to be a straight up race.
Yeah,
like, that's it.
Yeah, it's gonna be. If not, there's very little. You know, there's a little bit, but very little weapons involved. But it's gonna be more race like. Versus weapons, because again, I got to give every vehicle a chance. Because if it was weapons, then the Arkham Knight mobile, which is not good,
exactly,
blowing everyone out the sky, which is, you know, so I'm not gonna do that.
Yeah, exactly. Well, my other question is, because obviously this is a big one. So are we actually gonna get to see all the Batmans get into their cars, or are we just gonna see them? They're already in the cars, and then they're just waiting for the starting line to go.
That was something I've also been wrestling with, and currently right now, because it's not, you know, it's not 100%. Currently right now, I do not have the Batman in the car. So I was thinking of putting him in there, but you know, my computer can only take so many characters.
Yeah.
You know, so the 5 Batmobiles and then 5 Batman at the same time.
Yeah.
A lot. So currently right now, I say that they're not in it, but it's very possible. I'm still wrestling with it. Very possible that he could make an appearance. But it would just be a straight on Batmobile badass race. But yeah.
Well, I mean, because I expect to see, I don't know if you, well, it's just like you said, but I would just love to see Adam West's Batman, who unfortunately passed away very recently. So I think that would just be an amazing thing to see Adam West's Batman in the car, because he's the only Batman who his Batmobile is the only Batmobile that doesn't have a roof over it. Because yeah, so it would be kind of weird. It's just like, is Adam West's Batmobile possessed? Is it driving itself?
Right. Yeah, that is a very, very valid question. And right now, as I'm animating it, I'm like, this doesn't. That's why it's on the table. Like right now, that's the decision. It's like, you know, when I've been doing some camera tricks, like if it's only 2 cars in the shot, maybe I'll hide the other 3. That way I don't have to worry about it. And maybe when I'll have specific shots with all 5 cars or 3 cars or anything like that. So, but when there's a shot and you can clearly see the Adam West mobile with nobody in the car, it's like, I'll worry about that later. Let me get back to this. You know, so, you know, yeah, so it's going to be interesting, but I definitely want to say that, you know, I'm definitely going to try to do Adam West justice, recently, you know, because I announced the video before everything had happened, but I definitely want to make sure I do, you know, him justice for that video, since he is the original Batman that came to screen.
Yes, absolutely. That would be amazing. Well, so that's the thing. Like, okay, so again, we're going to see all 5 Batmobiles, and this is just going to be a race. But and you already told us that, okay, so the Tumbler and the Snydermobile will have the raw advantages, while the sleeker Batmobiles will have some tricks up their sleeves. Well, so will we get to see any like sort of great callbacks with these with the 60s Batmobile and the Keaton Mobile that we saw in the movies or in the TV shows?
Any callbacks?
Like great Easter egg references, like maybe the 60s Batmobile like again, when it's trying to make a slight turn, it has to use the bat chutes because that makes it turn easier.
Interesting. I did not plan on that. I can say that. I will say that. I did not plan on that, but I will look into it because it's still in production, you know.
Oh, that's great,
and unlike live action, I can just change it on the fly. So
yeah,
we'll look into it because I'm still not finished with it, so I don't see why I couldn't look into it and try to do something very, very similar like that, because that would be cool. But as far as any Easter eggs, maybe, you know, maybe, but, you know,
I know.
Because the funny thing is, it's like because the way I animated, which is I animated with a particular script in mind. Now,
right.
what happens is that for speed, I animate and then I almost like adapt my own script. So if I animate something and then I do something kind of cool, even if it doesn't necessarily look, it wasn't in the script, very similar to how I did with Megazord vs. Voltron,
right.
Then I'm like, maybe I'll just keep this because all of a sudden it looks a little bit cooler or it feels a little bit more natural. So I already have a script of what happens and what I want to happen. But since as I'm doing it, a lot of changes are happening, and then I'm bouncing ideas off of people. You know, like I'm having, you know, Jeremy help me out with the cinematography, so he's telling me to change certain things, and so it's like, actually that might make more sense. So it's still in production, and things are being added and taken away. So it's like, is it gonna be Easter eggs? Maybe I have some. Is it gonna make it to the final video? I don't know. You know, so you know, so we'll see. Keep a question mark.
I will.
Yeah,
I will. Oh my goodness, I feel like okay. Question mark. Okay, so so keep a Riddler basically on it.
right.
Oh man.
What I will say is that you know, and not to like boast or anything like that, but because of the success I feel with now my adaptation with the Megazord vs. Voltron and how the animation is going to look for the Power Rangers for the Batmobile video, even though this is like super in the future, the next up for the next video is another highly requested fight that as of June 30th has not been announced by any channel, but everybody wants to see, and it's going to be good. I'm very
wow.
It's going to be good. I can't wait.
No, now I really want to hear about it.
But it's gonna be good. I'm looking to have the video, the Batmobile video, come out pretty soon. I'm thinking August or September. So it's actually gonna be pretty quick on this turnaround. So it's you're not gonna have to wait too long. Yeah.
Oh, that's amazing. Last question on the Batmobile race. So, okay, now that we have all of the great details, all of the juicy little details, like, okay, so how is this race going? How is the winner going to be determined on who will win this race? It's like, again, I mean, because these are 5 Batmobiles who, on their own, you know, we've seen that they're not just cars that get stolen or can get blown up. They do have some unique advantages that makes them unique and timeless. So how will the winner be determined? Like, do you have any ideas on, okay, so I know you can't say which Batmobile would win.
No, definitely not.
Yeah, but have you decided, like, okay, so this is how this Batmobile would win, and so on and so forth?
Yes, I do know who's going to win and how they're going to do it. It's pretty epic in the way in my mind. We'll see how it turns out, but it turns out it's pretty badass. But I do know it is a battle royale. It's like you said, right? It is a race, but it's a battle royale race, so they will be taken out each one. So the last Batmobile standing will be the winner.
Yes, absolutely.
That's how it's going to be. So each one of them, so it's going to start off as a race, and then eventually they're going to start taking each other out. So
yeah. So did you put some research into like which Batmobile will eventually come out? Because again, that's really again, these are the Batmobiles, and there are tons of Batman fans can tell you that this Batmobile has this, that can make it possibly come out the winner. Or like, did you do some of your own research to determine to further determine the winner? Yes.
I did do my own research, and very similar to the and I know anyone who does research after this would pretty much figure it out. Very similar to the Voltron versus Megazord one. When you do the research, it's very, very clear which Batmobile will win. And I'm like, if I make it that much of a blowout, it's not going to be much of a video. So, so I have to make it feel as if that every Batmobile has a chance.
Yeah.
So that's the only problem with the research is that, you know, when you're taking properties like that, like, you know, not going to say much about the research, but let's just say for the you know, the movie mobiles, they're actually going to have a little more limitations than obviously the Arkham Knight mobile, because that can do a whole bunch of stuff that you know, because it's in a video game, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
Right, or like the '66 mobile is obviously going to have a lot less things to do than the Snyder mobile. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Because it's like you said. I mean, well, these newer Batmobiles that have come out after the '60s, they're more advanced in technology, whereas the '60s mobile was just a retro car with gadgets that suited the time period.
Right. Exactly. So if I did it based off of that, I don't think that would be fair.
No.
So even though I will, you know, still honor the Batmobiles the best way as I can, I will make it, you know, somewhat fair to make it feel as if they all had a chance and not just completely blow out the ones that completely don't, you know. So I did do research. I'm like, this is good, but let's tweak this a little bit, you know what I mean? So it's not Death Battle, so I have to honor it 100%. But let's so it actually comes out to actually a fun video to watch.
Right. Oh, well, I'm looking forward to that. And again, I think for me, that feels like it's going to be a great fight to watch. And I definitely think it will be your best one.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Like, I feel it. I know I said about the same thing about Power Rangers and Genji. And I'm like, I feel this one's going to be a little bit different. I feel like a lot of people are going to like this one. A lot of people like this one.
Awesome. That is just amazing. I cannot wait to see it. I'm pretty sure nobody else can either. So again,
Oh, God, I'm probably gonna work on it. I'm probably gonna work on it now, right after this. I'm like, I'm excited. I'm excited.
Oh, that's great then.
so like, all right, I gotta work on it right now. So
okay, awesome. Well, my question is, now that we're done with that, but my question is for a lot of people who want to know, so when did you decide you wanted to be a 3D animator, and how did you and RoundTable Studios first start with your animations?
Sure. To take it way back when, to make a long story short, I've always wanted to be an artist. You know, ever since you know, my shows, you know, growing up as a kid, Dragon Ball Z, Power Rangers. You know what I mean? Like that's those are your two staple like shows that I've always like, you know, Batman animated series, even though it was definitely part of my childhood, but Dragon Ball Z, man, it's like that was my thing, man. I was like used to, before it was computers or DVR, I used to like, you know, try to like draw it as I was like, you know, as I was watching the shows or anything like that. So I always wanted to be an artist. I've always wanted to do it, you know, through middle school, high school, and I eventually went to college for computer animation.
Right.
And in college, you know, there's different forms of 3D art. There's modeling, which is the creation of the models. There's There's special effects, there's animation, obviously, there's texturing. There's so many different avenues someone can go to. You know, you could be a one-stop shop, like a generalist. But the problem with that is that, you know, the more skills you take on, you know, like you can't be an actor, director, producer. You can't. You can. It's not like you can't. Yeah. You can, but the more you delve into one, the stronger you'll be. And then once you delve into one, then other avenues can open up for you. So you have to kind of pick one. And when I was in modeling class, it was good. I'm like, oh man, people making good models is great. But once I got into animation class, and then I made my first guy like jump or like, you know, do like a little cool move, I'm like, this is fun. Like you can make anything. Like you could make anyone do anything. Like I'm like, how is no one else doing this? How is it so much fun? And then, you know, the fact that I found it as fun versus work, like I'm like, oh, I think this is for me. Like this is my thing. You know what I mean? Yeah. So, and then right around that time, 2007, that's when Monty Ohm released Haloid, which is the Metroid Prime Matrix thing versus Samus, Metroid Prime versus Samus. Metroid versus Master Chief.
Yeah.
Right, that video. So once I saw that, I was like, oh man, this is what I want to do. You know what I mean? I want to make videos like that. That looks cool. Yeah. You know? But this was I think he released that on Game Informer or IGN. Like this was before YouTube was a thing.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking like, oh, I'll just join a cool YouTube, a cool studio or something like that. And then when, you know, I guess it's a different topic for another day, but when you get out of college, the skill level you are at college versus the skill level you have to be at to join the industry.
Yeah.
Very, 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 very like large level. So once I graduated, like, which was in 2010 now, right? Yeah, 2010, I graduated college. I'm like, like, I don't know if I could do anything. At 2010, I think, so that you're talking about Transformers just came out, the first one, the good one.
Yes, thank you.
Right. Iron Man had just come out. You know, we knew Avengers were coming out, but it wasn't out yet. So, like, it was still, like, budding. And so, like, animation, you know, the Hulk went from being bad to now being good. Yeah. So it's like that technology era was like, because when Transformers came out, that, like, changed the game. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
It's like, right, because if you know, Transformers came out the year before Iron Man. So it's like, right. So it's like, you know, even though Iron Man is now seen as the more popular of the franchise, but like the technology in Transformers is what they use in Iron Man to do his suit. You know, they got that from Transformers. Yeah. You know? So it's like, if you didn't know how to do that to get a job, you weren't going to get a job. So, but it was like, it's like breaking technology. It's like breakthrough. It's like, how am I going to do something that industry standard just figured out like last year? So, yeah. So afterwards, YouTube was getting a thing, and then Monty Ohm he started releasing the Dead Fantasy videos. And I'm like, oh wow, like this is cool. So, and then I realized after he released the first or second one, he got picked up by, I think he was picked up by Bandai Namco. I think he worked on a like an Afro Samurai game. He worked on a couple of games for them. So I'm like, maybe all I have to do is just create a video, like a very cool video, something similar to him, and then I can get picked up. That's just easy. You know? Easy peasy, right? So that's what came idea with Naruto vs. Ichigo. So I think that Comic-Con, just to make sure I was on the right path, that Comic-Con, he was there, and this was, I went up to him at the table, and he had the red versus blue thing of, he had just joined Rooster Teeth, and he gave me the pen. He's like, oh, I'm having a new series come out. It's called Ruby, and you see the little thing. I saw the thing he gave me. It was like a red silhouette of a girl with a scythe. I'm like, this looks so anime. I don't know if this is good. We'll see. You know, original series, I don't know. Like, you should probably stick to just using like Halo characters.
Exactly. Yeah.
Monty, I know you're good, but I don't know about starting a new series. But
yeah.
Boy, was I wrong. So I asked Monty, I said, hey man, like I want to, you know, do things like you. I'm definitely not on your level, but you know, can I do, like, what do you think about Naruto vs. Ichigo? So I figured if the great Monty Ohm says it's a cool idea, you know, I should do it, right? So I asked him, he's like, dude, that's if you do that and you do it well, that should be pretty cool. So I'm like, all right. And then, so I got the cue from Monty. So now at this point, so I'm like, all right, let me come back and let me come up, with some ideas for it. And I've always, when it comes to like my friends or it comes to people around me, I've always considered them like a circle. I never considered it where, even though I'm the animator or I'm the guy, making the decisions, I never tried to say, well, I'm the boss, this is what's going to happen, even when it came, like, working with Danny, if Danny said, and Danny's the same way too, and a lot of us are, if you want to be that way, you have to be, but
absolutely.
So it's very like, do you like this idea? Do you don't? Maybe I should change it. I never like, I always considered it a very equal setting, and then hence the table, hence the term round table. So I'm like,
yes.
I like that. It's not a triangle. I'm not the figurehead. Even though you see me, like I'm on the videos, and even though, I'm the spokesperson or I'm the one talking, there's a lot of people, around me who help me out, artists, non-artists, who have a lot of say. So when I ask my friends, my round table, for advice on the Batman Royal video, even though they're not artists or they're not animators, they still have an equal say. They said, I don't know if, the Tumblr should be doing this, or I don't know if we should be doing that. I'm like, okay, I'll listen, because, I don't know everything. So that came the name RoundTable Studios. So once I did that, it was just a slow burn, slow burn. Let's just animate, and even though we don't get picked up on the first video, because it happens, it might have been a special case, or 2007, 2008, where Monty was pretty much the only one doing animation like that at that time. Absolutely. Yeah, of course it can get picked up, so maybe if we just keep going, don't stop. The only way you're gonna stop, the only way you're gonna not achieve your dreams if you just stop. So let's just keep going, and and I'm still going, and still making it happen. So that's pretty much how I got into it, and how like I am where I am right now.
Oh, amazing. Very amazing story.
Thank you.
No problem. Well, again, it's great to know that your hard work, your effort, it's paid off from where you are now. Because now you're working with Ismahawk, and you're now part of something. So I definitely think that all of that hard work pays off.
Yeah. So it's definitely it's been good, and it's been good. I'm definitely glad for it, and I'm not sure if not only am I working with Ismahawk, but I was able to collaborate with, like the guy who voiced Genji was another YouTuber. He's like a Let's Player, I believe, and I think he trolls or he pranks people online because he speaks like Genji.
Yeah,
and like he trolls people online, which is actually pretty funny. So I was able to reach out to him. And I'm very big on, building a community, you know what I mean? So it's like not only just, working with Danny and the guys, but even, we've started talking and started reaching out to each other and trying to find so many other people.
Right.
Goal and same ambition. So, I love working with other people around about this, because once you have that, even if it's not art, animation, or film, like just working with so many other creators and things like that, it's
right.
Awesome thing to do,
Yeah, absolutely. I definitely agree. Wow, that's amazing. And again, I'm happy to where you're at now. But my final question, before we wrap up, so again, do you have any advice for people who want to start animating and 3D modeling? Like, if they do want to, like, what is your advice to them?
My first advice is, if I had to say anything for animators or modelers, is just, you don't really understand the power of just determination.
Right.
Like it's amazing on when you tell yourself that you're going to do something, you're going to get it done. And if it's like, so like, imagine if, I told you, hey man, if you want, I'll give you $1 million if you stay up for 5 days straight. right? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm like, wait, $1 million. That's all I have to do. So
Yeah.
you're gonna invest in every type of coffee. You're gonna do jumping jacks. You're gonna do what it takes to stay up because you see the value at the finish line. So a lot of people, artists and everyone alike, sometimes don't see the value at the finish line, so they'll tell themselves a lot of excuses, a lot of things that they can't do. So you have to understand that whether your goal is to be a YouTuber or in the industry, or whether it's to just do it for yourself, like you can do it, and the only person that's stopping you from doing what you want to do is yourself.
Right.
So that's the motivation, I guess, tip. And the other tip is, it's 2017. There's so many free and I want to make videos on it too, especially for animators. Like, so many free avenues for either, if you're a modeler and you want free animations, there's places for it. If you're an animator, you want free models, there's places for it. Like for me, it's like, a big thing for me was like environments. I'm like, where am I going to get environments from? I found a whole treasure trove of environments. I'm like, oh, this is where they're getting the environments from. You just have to look, do your research. There's so many ways, and there's so many avenues on how to do your craft, for a very low cost. Because again, people are under the assumption, which is fine, that these are expensive, but there are a lot of resources online that can help you make animations for very low cost, for cheap. So definitely do your research, and definitely check out my videos, because I'll be doing a lot of videos on it.
Yes, absolutely. Oh, yes, absolutely. Again, great segue. Yes, everyone, please go check out Cliff and RoundTable Studios at their YouTube channel. Follow them on social media, and also support them on Patreon, because if the more money you give, the more you can help Cliff and his team improve, and you get to probably get some great content as well.
Yeah, Patreon's coming out soon. I think it's coming out next month. We're gonna launch our Patreon.
Okay.
We're gonna launch our Patreon next month. It's gonna be very, very it's gonna be good. It's gonna be per. I want to do it per video. I'm not gonna do it per month. So per video. Well, that way, it's I want people to feel as if that they're gaining something per video. So it's almost like a mini Kickstarter every time. So as soon as you do the video, you get a whole bunch of stuff, so it won't be like an every month. I feel like that's a lot more easier for me to control, so if I don't animate, I don't get anything to help me out with it, So that's how I want to run it versus a per month basis.
Sounds great. that again sounds great. Well, again, thank you, Cliff, for being on here with me today. Thank you all for watching this. Again, this was very fun, and I honestly don't know what else to say. I mean, this was just great, and thank you guys for watching this. And again, please go and support Cliff. Please support his channel. Give him your love. Give him your subscription. Just please help him out. Help his channel grow.
Thank you, man. I appreciate that. I appreciate you for having me on here, man.
No problem. Thank you all once again for watching. You can check out both of our channels. We'll leave links to it, of course, and so you can see the next video. But yeah, guys, until then, thank you all once again for watching the second episode of KENOBI'S Interviews. Another one will be coming soon. Don't know when, but until then, this is Richard Core Kenobi saying, please like, comment, subscribe, and may the force be with you all. Until then, we'll see you next time. Bye, everybody.
Bye.